And on the bench it was Haggerty, Yonkers, Clough and Stringer. The coach, Carl Harrison. Now the Saints. Wellens at full-back. Gardner, Lyon, Tallow and Hardman on the wing. Darren Albert was out injured. Hooper and Long the captain. The forwards, Mason, Cunningham and Paul Anderson. Gilmore, Wilkin and Vinnie Anderson. And the bench occupied by Edmondson, Graham, Roby and Fasavalou. The coach, Daniel Anderson.
Ian Smith is tonight's match referee. He's making his way to the middles. Salford already out there. Scene is set. It's a big night for Salford. It's a real test.
Sure is, and I'm sure that their coach Carl Harrison has made it quite clear that they are just on the fringe of the relegation zone. It is nervous times for the coach there, and he knows it. Last year he was quite open about the fact that he would be selecting certain games to make sure they got those vital points so that they avoided the drop last season. And I wonder when he's going to make that decision, Eddie, this season, when he'll start doing that.
Well, in April they were 5th. Right now they are just 2 points above the relegation zone. Wakefield are also playing this evening against Leeds. And Widnes, of course, they lie in wait for London on Sunday. Big night for Salford, and a short kick-off from David Hodgson. Invention right away, and they get the ball back to No. Willie Tallow got to it, but no, it's a penalty. It's a penalty for Salford. Someone was tackled without the ball.
Well, a great option there. Remember, a couple of weeks ago, we saw Hull take this option. Trouble is, they kicked it directly into touch, gave the opposition the penalty that day.
And that's a great kick from Luke Robinson, taking Salford to the 10-metre line. What an opportunity here. It's with Robinson, and Rutgerson will charge the ball in. Halted by the tackle of Wilkin, and also there was Vinnie Anderson. This is Malcolm Alker. Big night for this fellow, Tim Hartley. What a nice little run.
Nice step off the left foot.
Looping pass to Charles. Here now is Big Simon Baldwin, halted by Lee Gilmore. Saints calling for reinforcements in the defensive line down the left-hand side, and that's the way that Salford go. To Robinson, who fires the pass, and Hodgson hangs on, and the ball is stuck with Littler, and Littler could be over now. What a try-saver from Paul Wellens. Magnificent tackle from Wellens. The kick bouncing off the post and picked up by the Saints man. The ball has come loose.
There'll be a dropout.
It's a dropout underneath the sticks. This is a great start for Salford.
Unbelievable. Robinson set the big centre, Stuart Littler on his way, and as Eddie mentioned, Paul Wellens has come up with a cracker. This is what they practice on the training ground. They aim for those sticks. It certainly got the bounce, but the man who saved him on the second occasion, yet again, how many times has he done that for the Saints over the years? The full-back, Paul Wellens.
Salford obviously believing they have nothing to lose, and as Paul Cullen said at the build-up to this match, the Warrington coach who was with us tonight, he said that Salford should attack and attack and attack, and that's the way they've come out of the traps. This is Hodgson. Alker waiting at dummy half, and they go down the inside channel with Baldwin, and Baldwin gets Salford into the 20-metre zone. 3 of them there. Halt his progress. Ball has come free. Oh, I think
he called hell.
He's called hell, but I don't think Baldwin really wanted to release that ball. I think it was just the momentum as he went down. Or was it in fact stolen? Well, whatever happened, it's a penalty to Salford. That relieves the pressure.
Well, I think he's been badly done to here. I think he just wanted to pull away from Gilmore, who was holding the arm. Well, it's all happening, isn't it?
2 minutes 41 seconds. St Helens get their hands on the ball for the first time. Quick hands. This is Willie Tallow. Good tackling on that far side by Anthony Stewart. Now it's Keith Mason, named as 18th man last week. Fozzard with problems in the mouth. Dental surgery this week, and Mason gets his chance, and Mason gets the penalty because Baldwin wouldn't get off him.
Well, it took an eternity. Lost the ball up the other end of the field. Now he gives away the penalty. They've gone for the quick tap.
They have. They're running it here with Paul Anderson. It's St Helens now who are 20 metres away. This is their first raid on the Salford line. with Long to Mason again. Good tackling in defence though by the Salford City Reds. Alka was in there very quickly. Long running the angles and bringing the ball into the middle to Jason Hooper.
Great tackle from Sean Rutchison, it had to be.
Vinnie Anderson, this is Kieran Cunningham, just brushes one would-be tackler off. Here is John Wilkin. 2 tries against Bradford last week as Wilkin deputised for Paul Sculthorpe in the second row tonight. This is Cunningham now, and Cunningham tried to force the ball over the line, but they force him back, Salford. He was held up over the line, says the referee. The tackle count will continue 10 metres away from the Salford try line. This is the last one, with Wellens and Long, and there's the dab to the in-goal area, and it bounces high and bounces dead.
Well, he'll be disappointed with Sean Long. It was a well-weighted kick, but there was only the second rower, Lee Gilmore, there hunting for it, and even he just stopped at the end. This is where the hooker Cunningham went very close. Not so sure he went in the in-goal area.
That was the view of the match referee Ian Smith though, and so Salford in possession here. This is Chris Charles. He bounces off a couple of tacklers. Good run from the loose forward. Halted in the end though by the 2 big men, Mason and Paul Anderson. On halfway, he plays the ball, and they weren't standing square, so Salford get another penalty.
Well, it's hot conditions. Very fast. Robinson taking the quick tap again.
And here is Tim Hartley. Now it's with Nathan McAvoy. The tackle low down by Sean Long. Junior Lange, the dummy half, waits. Drives the ball in at the chest of Wilkin. Vinnie Anderson is there to help out in defence. It's Cliff Beverley. Now Chris Charles. Charles looking for the runners. Rutgerson was one of them. Good pressure from Salford again. They are taking a few chances, giving the ball plenty of air. This is McAvoy. Needed a good tackle, and it was from Jamie Lyon.
Oh, he's injured, is McAvoy. Looks as though he's strained a knee or something.
Hartley to Alka. Alka stabs the kick to the in-goal area. Robinson's hunting that, and Salford are going to get another set of 6. Hooper caught in goal.
Great start by the Reds. Full of control. Alka knew that he put the full weight on. Robinson certainly harassed the standoff. He'll be very pleased with Carl Harrison.
Eddie, it's quite clear that Salford have struggled to make breaks and break down defences this season, but that little grubber kick through from one player to another has been a ploy with which they've been successful. I think we'll see a bit more of that tonight.
This is David Hodgson, who is in the Great Britain train-on party. Hodgson, now it's with Baldwin, and 3 are there to force him back a metre or 2 in the second tackle this set. Alka, the captain, finds Chris Charles. Rutgerson was the runner. It goes to Robinson.
What a tackle. He's lost it. He's lost it as well. Tallow hit him. Hector sent missile here. Boom. Take that. And then he lost it. But was it just pulled out? Experienced Willie Tallow maybe just had a fingertip there. And not seen by the official.
Although they've lost the ball, Salford will be quite happy because outside of Tallow was only 1 St Helens defender and 3 guys for the Salford City Reds. They didn't get it to him on that occasion, but that's a great opportunity. They can get the ball that way more often.
Long makes the break and he gets the ball away to Hartman on the wing. Leeds are ahead 6-0 and Hull are ahead at Wigan. It is now with Wilkin again. Just inside his own half of the field. Salford looking to halt this 6-match losing sequence, the worst in the Super League, and if they lose, 11th place Widnes will be in position to draw level with them on Sunday with victory over London. It's Hooper at dummy half, 30 metres away. Paul Anderson driving the ball in for the Saints. That's the last tackle, and here is Jason Hooper. Now it's with Sean Long, and Long will dab the ball to the in-goal area. It's going to be too big though.
Just a bit off song. St Helens with a short kicking game at the moment. And Salford will be very, very pleased with the way that they've repelled on 3 occasions now. St Helens looking for the try, but not really showing any enterprise at the moment.
8 minutes of the match gone. Let's hear from the first time tonight from Paul Cullen in the match. Paul, you said Salford had to attack. I think you were listening to Carl Harrison's team talk.
Well, it's the only option and he's done very well. Smart play from Carl to organise that short kick-off. it sends a signal out to his players and to his supporters and pumps some atmosphere into this stadium.
And what a run here from little Luke Robinson, and he's got support from Hartley, and Hartley will score the first try for the Salford City Reds. What a break from Luke Robinson, and Hartley was the man in support. 19 years of age, Tim Hartley, and the first try of the match for the Salford City Reds.
Superb rugby league football. Doesn't come much better than that. And the coach is happy with it. He may be very calm and collected on the outside, but inside he knows it's wonderful stuff here. They kept the ball alive. Look at the pace here. They deserve this try, mainly due to the fact the position of Hartley. But in the background, Kieran Cunningham was pulling back the man on support on the inside. He could very well have been penalised anyway. Rutgerson got the pass away. How cool is this? What great positioning. What a sensational try. Look at the balance there. Look how it looks. Brings the defence across, and then you can see that Wellens is having to commit himself back on the inside. Nobody's coming up across on the slide in defence, and bang.
So Chris Charles to try and have the extras, make it a perfect six, which he does. Hammers the ball straight into the St Helens supporters. They're very quiet. That lot on the far side aren't, because the Salford City Reds are ahead by 6 points to 0.
And fully deserved. What a start from this 19-year-old Tim Hartley. We saw early in the match, after just a couple of moments, he took a nice step off the left foot, nearly got through on the half break. Doesn't lack confidence, that's for sure. And if he needed an extra boost in that department, he's just gained it with scoring a 4-pointer.
He got a try last week against Wakefield, his first in the Super League, and he's followed that up in quick succession with another one here. But it was made by Robinson's break, and a beautiful reverse pass from the England international scrum half, and Hartley over despite the attention of Kieran Cunningham. This is Cliff Beverley now. Just 2 Super League wins against St Helens. 1997, 39-26, and last year 30 points to 20, both here at the Willows. 11 minutes in, we're late to Dave Hadfield about the man of the match.
Wonderful start for Salford, isn't it? So encouraging when Carl Harrison's asking a number of individuals to really dig deep tonight. Tim Hartley, of course, started at standoff. Great beginning for him. You can say that the hardest job for anybody tonight is marking Jamie Lyon. Cliff Beverley's got that task. And he's also asking Nathan McAvoy to use his undoubted athleticism in the unfamiliar position of left side second row. Lyon was terrific for Saints last week, but Kieran Cunningham wasn't far behind him, and even without Sculthorpe, that back row still looks very long. Wilkin, Vinnie Anderson, they're top players, and they performed very well last week, and we're expecting them to do so again tonight.
But so far, Salford are snuffing out the danger that St Helens pose. It's a wonderful start for Carl Harrison's men. Can they keep it going? This is Paul Anderson.
The enthusiasm is there in defence, moving up as a unit. They're very, very eager indeed.
It's Jamie Lyon now. They know the danger that he poses if they watch the tape of last Sunday's match at Odsal. It's now with Paul Wellens. Good defence, in-your-face defence by Salford.
Certainly is, and it was a good tackle as well earlier. Cliff Beverley against Jamie Lyon.
And they're caught in possession in the last tackle.
Well, that is a sin. I can't believe that that's occurred with the likes of Sean Long out there, Jason Hooper.
Salford keeping the ball alive. They've got confidence from this start.
And it's an even better start when you look at St Helens this season. The most dominant quarter of the match they've played is the opening 20 minutes, but often they've blown teams away and the game's almost over before we get into the 21st minute. Salford have done remarkably well. They've kept them at bay, they've posted some points themselves, and if they continue this way there is opportunities for them, especially out wide as we've seen.
Charles will play the ball to Malcolm Olker. Here is Luke Robinson, and a big kick downfield from Robinson, bounces a metre inside the field of play and finds touch on the far side. He doesn't seem terribly happy with it.
Well, he should be. It puts him in a very good position on the field of play. Wanted it perhaps to go a little bit deeper, maybe just to hang around. But they will force the error.
Ever-present Luke Robinson for Salford this year. 2 tries and 3 goals in the last win against Lee. It was a long time ago that. It was in April, and that was when Salford had what Carl Harrison described as vertigo. They were up to 5th in the Super League table then. Since then, they have slipped and slided their way down. The wheels have come off. They're suddenly looking over the shoulder again, but not tonight. This is a great start for them.
Certainly is, and Daniel Anderson, St Helens' new coach, he'll have to get the message out and say, hey, come on, fellas, we've got to really work hard. OK, I don't think we're panicking now because they have had very little possession.
Cunningham gets it away to Graham. That's the last tackle, though. Great stint in defence from Salford. Only 40 metres progress made in the 5 tackles so far, and they're running it again. Gilmore puts the kick in. Still on the last, though, is the call from the referee. It arrives at Vinnie Anderson's hands, and then he hoists the ball downfield. Junior Lange is underneath this. It was easy for him. Oh, and a wild pass infield to Hodgson. They've lost momentum here.
Well, it was a great take, wasn't it? Junior Lange too, and then he said, here, it's yours. David had to really reach high.
Cliff Beverley. Oh, and they missed him. And he gets the ball. Oh, what a shame for
They had
Robinson.
the overlap. They had 4-on-1, would you believe? If he could have just taken a half break there, and he knows it, there was no one at home other than Willie Tallow.
His mere presence, because it was Tallow, remember, who hit him very early in the piece, and Tallow's mere presence on Robinson. He must have felt like he was in his shadow then. Just took his eye off the ball at the vital moment. Now then, long for St Helens. Beverley was a little late, and the referee doesn't give the penalty for the flop. This is Jamie Lyon. Watch for the... Oh, how good is he? How good is Jamie Lyon? They were waiting for the offload, and the offload didn't come. It was in the back of the hand, it was on its way, and Nick Fossard with a big smile alongside his coach Daniel Anderson, and Jamie Lyon has come up with the first try for St Helens.
Well, he celebrated last week with the ball as though it was his new baby in his arms. He certainly has the strength and he has the composure, but look at that. See the little dummy there? It looked as though he was going to do his trademark little offload. This is a knock on. It could have been the other way around. He could not believe it. And see the smile on Willie Tallow and said, I got you earlier and I'm going to get you all day. But that is superb. It just shows you yet again, Bradford did it. Kangaroos, yep. He sends a message down under, but I must say, this guy's upper body strength is just wonderful.
Fantastic try from Jamie Lyon. His 11th of the season. He's also got 18 goals, but Sean Long's in the side. He needs those 12 points for 2000. Will this be the first 2 of them? Yes. The scores are level here at the sun-drenched Willows. It is 6 apiece.
Well, we said it was going to be a problem out wide to try to contain the quality of this man, Jamie Lyon. What a buy. St Helens knew what they were doing when they forked out the old bob or two for this fella.
The Saints have topped 50 points in 3 of their last 5 visits to the Willows. That's the sort of history that Salford have to defy here tonight. That's why they needed a good start. And they've already made their first change. Fastavalou on for Keith Mason, St Helens.
Well, it is a setback for the Salford side, but I've got to be honest with you, Eddie. I think Salford, they're so eager and keen. They'll get back into this game, don't worry.
Drawing back to Sean Long and how important he is to the Saints side. Do you know his goal-kicking record, and people who follow rugby union might be interested in this, he's converting 93% of the kicks he's making. That's remarkable accuracy for any goal kicker in either code.
Certainly is, but don't alert the rugby union authorities to any more good players in our sport. Phil, we already hear there's rumours about Chris Radlinski. We could do without any more departing over the other side. Paul, you'll agree with that, I'm sure.
Well, we've got a great product, Eddie, and I think we can see some real quality on show tonight. That enterprise that we saw from the Reds in the opening 15 minutes of this match needs to be maintained. You just get the feel at the moment that St Helens are just getting a grip of the game. They were rattled early on, but they can soak up pressure as good as any team in Super League and come back and get you right at the death.
You know that from bitter experience.
We certainly do in 2 games this year. But Salford can't go one out. Keep pushing it. Keep forcing St Helens around. Because when you do, you might get the odd break. They've seen it so far in the game.
This is Baldwin. for Salford. Caught on the last tackle though, only 27 metres made forward by Salford. Robinson gets the kick in though, good kick too, between Hardman and Wellens, but just a touch too deep. The youngster had experience and time there, because there was no pressure on him, just to allow that to trickle over the dead ball line.
And that'll be one thing that Carl Harrison, he will not be happy with the chase from that. As you mentioned, Eddie, Ian Hardman had all the time in the world, also helped along by the fullback Wellens, was saying leave it, leave it. It's so important in any team game is that you talk to each other.
This is Eddie Gardner for St Helens, who beat Salford at Knowsley Road in round 5. That ball bounced awkwardly and forward.
Well, he wasn't expecting it. It just ricocheted right off the chest. Irrespective, it's classified as a knock-on. I don't know why on earth they wanted to offload in such a position.
Well, the St Helens coach, Daniel Anderson, is looking to extend this honeymoon period he's got to 3 straight wins, and he's got 3 very good acts to follow.
Well, that was a shocker from Stuart Littler.
Sean McRae, Ellery Hanley, Ian Millward, they all won Super League titles, and Sean McRae won his first 17 matches in charge in League and Cup, Hanley the first 9, Millward won the first 11 in Super League. So quite an act to follow times 3. And talking of Sean McRae, South Sydney, his new club, in action against Manly, who are having a terrific season in Australia. I was talking to Sean actually on the telephone this morning. He's really looking forward to the challenge.
Did you just witness that? I've just blinked then. Did I see Jamie Lyon look as though he's going over the... Oh, he's going for obstruction.
Obstruction, long running across the face of play.
Paul, I know a lot of coaches, they show highlights of their opponents before they're going to play them. Do you think it's wise to show what Jamie Lyon can do, or would it just cause sleepless nights for the players?
That was exceptional. Should be in a circus. He's got the ball in one hand, danced off his left foot, kicked over, went around the outside of the winger, and while in mid-air, threw it over his left shoulder inside. That was worth the admission money alone.
So it really was there then, Paul. I didn't just blink it.
No, you didn't imagine that, Mike. That was sheer quality.
Unbelievable.
This is Baldwin, 40 metres away from the St Helens line. Saints piling in. The tackle completed by James Graham. Here is Malcolm Alka. Wilkins stops him with help from Vinnie Anderson. David Hodgson. Now it's with Tim Hartley, Salford's try scorer. Gets it away to Nathan McAvoy. That's 4 tackles gone. 2 remaining this set of 6. As Beverley at dummy half finds Chris Charles, who in turn gets the ball in field. Good defence though on show.
Will they go for the little grubber?
No way through for Mitchell Stringer then. Here is Robinson again. There's the dab to the in-goal area. Oh, and Wellens has lost it. And Littler's come up with a try. He's got to check whether he's onside, the Salford players, but Wellens has come up with a boo-boo, and Littler's come up with 4 if he was onside. If he was behind the ball, this is a try.
Well, I called for the grubber, and the little fella Lou Robinson didn't let me down. He's onside, I feel. Or is he? Oh, this is going to be close. I think he's happy with it.
Yeah.
There's the kick. I think he's going to be okay. But what an error from Paul Wellens.
Well, Littler's all right. He is the one 2 in from the left-hand side of the...
Yeah, it's fine. This will be try time.
I think that's Anthony Stewart, isn't it, over there?
Yep. Littler's with the dark hair. He's the one that picks up the loose ball. This is TRY time. Well, who would think it? Who would think it from Paul Wellens?
Well, Stewart's involved in the action there. Does that mean that he is offside or not? He's certainly in front there. He is in front, and Stewart gets involved. But I wonder what the video ref's decision will be.
Therefore, he's got to give him 10 metres. And if that is the case, if Stewart gets within 10 metres of the full back, then it's no try. But I reckon he'll go for TRY, me.
Well, Littler touched it down, and David Campbell, who is tonight's video referee, says the try will stand for the Salford City Reds. Second try for them, and Salford are back in the lead.
To be fair, it may be just inches, but this little fella, Luke Robinson, he is enjoying it. Beautiful weighted grubber.
Well, Stewart is way in front and he does get involved, but...
Well, it doesn't give him 10 metres. So if he's in front, then the video referee is wrong, according to what you're saying, Eddie. He has to give him 10 metres, fails to do that. Should have been a penalty to St. Helens. As it is, it's fish and chips. It's in the newspaper tomorrow.
Wonder whether John Wilkin will be writing about that in his newspaper column this week, Phil.
He might be right about the fact that halfway through this season, Salford had scored less tries from kicks than any other team, but they're certainly working on it, and it's something they need to do because they don't have many line breakers. Again, you see they're relying on that last tackle option as the kick goes over. What's that now? 12 points to 6. Fantastic start for Salford. I hope they can continue with that confidence.
Well, they're playing with great confidence, aren't they? They are taking the game to St. Helens, which is exactly, Paul Cullen, what you said they had to do in our pre-match preamble.
They're going exceptionally well. Carl will be delighted with the effort and the quality that his charges have given tonight. It was only that, unfortunate knock-on from Luke Robinson that gave St. Helens field position to score their try. And I think it was John Wilkin who tossed an offload, didn't really need it in that middle channel, and he gave the momentum back to the Salford City Reds. So this game's warming up.
Certainly is. 23.5 minutes and the Salford City Reds ahead by 12 points to 6. This is Cliff Beverley. Alker at dummy half.
You just had
big
that,
Mitchell Stringer.
you just had that feeling, didn't you, Eddie, that they were capable of coming back. And they've hit very well. Okay, it was a really bad error from Paul Wellens.
Mitchell Stringer is no respecter of reputation. How about that for a bell ringer from Jamie Lyon?
Oh.
Chris Charles in field to Robinson. He hammers the ball downfield. That's a poor kick, and Gardner takes it well. But the chase is good.
Certainly was, and it needed to be uplifted. Look at this, bang. Oh. Cliff Beverley hit the deck. Probably got up thinking he was Cliff Ritchie.
Here now is Paul Wellens trying to make amends for the mistake.
It's important now that the Reds really make sure that their defence is very strong indeed. We know the way that St. Helens can just bounce back.
Cunningham to Long, just delayed the ball, found Hooper, an important ankle tap then from Mark Shipway. Last tackle, Long will hoist the kick cross-field, and it goes beyond Junior Lange and beyond everybody. It's a 20-metre restart. Long has not got his kicking boots with him in general play today.
He certainly hasn't over the past 2 weeks. He's been absolutely superb. And they're just asking a few questions in the minds of this St. Helens players. Two great wins against last year's grand finalists. They'll be cock-a-hoop, they'll be happy and buoyant at training, putting a lot of hard work in, but it's down to reality, isn't it?
Well,
we see it so happen, don't we?
We do see it happen quite often. Phil has always said that it's very difficult for these players in Super League to peak 28 weeks in a row.
Well, I don't think they can do it 3 weeks in a row, can they? You get the feeling Saints are just going to be able to do enough here tonight. They've done it before to opponents. Going to hang on in there and tease the Salford fans, and then at the death send them home unhappy.
Robinson teasing the St. Helens defence this time, but not teasing Kieran Cunningham. He just enveloped him then. And Robinson having a right old go at Malcolm Alker. There's the up and under from David Hodgson. Well claimed by Willie Tallow. Stringer and Robinson come in with Alker to effect the tackle.
They're all over the place, aren't they? Swarming red jerseys. That's a one way to upset any team, never mind St. Helens.
Can they keep it going?
They need to come up with some better kicks, top end of the field, Salford, Eddie. That's it's just a little bit of a let-off for St. Helens. I think Saints have been a bit conservative down there, apart from that fantastic piece of skill from Jamie Lyon. They haven't really troubled Salford with their kicking game. But when Salford get down into the St. Helens 20, what you don't want to do is kick the ball straight to A.D. Gardner and invite him to come back on you, because he wins the collision, he wins the floor, and all of a sudden you're running backwards and you're back down now in your own 20.
And here they are, St. Helens, they're in the 20-metre zone of Salford. And that is James Roby. Here is Mari Fasavalu.
That's a great move by the coach Daniel Anderson to bring on the pace of young James Roby. He's a quality player.
Long, a great ball then to Wilkin. Wilkin is over. The tackle from Hodgson was non-effective, and Wilkin gets over for another try. 2 last week at Bradford. And one here this evening to give St Helens the chance to level the scores again.
Again, they've been caught out by going high into the man carrying the football. You've got to make sure that the legs, you couldn't really blame David Hodgson. He had to try to do a ball and all, but the first line of defence coming through, look at that, that's not good defence at all. They have this ability, haven't they, just to turn it on when they've conceded a try. And how many times do we say this? But it does happen, even at professional level. A team that's just scored a try within minutes will concede one.
Sean Long lining up the conversion attempt. And Simon Baldwin, I notice, is making his way to the other side of the field. He has been replaced for Salford as Long adds the extras. It's 12 all here. And maybe something to worry about for Salford. The Saints have scored almost twice as many tries as them this year, 101 to 54. It's level pegging though, and Salford giving us a real contest. And you know, if they're ahead by half-time, the City Reds, they will think they can go on and win, because all 6 victories so far this season have been claimed from that position. They've led at half-time, they've gone on to win the match. To be fair, they haven't been playing St Helens.
And also, to be fair to this St Helens half, it's going to be interesting how they end up in this first half now. Will they think that the Salford effort has just petered out? It has been their problem, is that late in the games they do get tired, and they've certainly put in a lot of energy in the opening 30 minutes.
And they put a lot of energy in when last we saw them against Wigan, remember?
Yeah.
They just couldn't hold Wigan on that occasion. Here is Long again, and this is a possible 40-20. Junior Lange knows that, that's why he's cut it off.
And again, not a good kick. Not a good kick at all. Good job that John Wilkin was leading the chase.
There's good tackle from Wilkin, and Wilkin there again, helping out Jamie Lyon to bring Cliff Beverley down. Lange for Salford. Ulker will come this way, and up the middle comes Gareth Haggerty.
This is where the likes of Luke Robinson has to take them on, maybe just a chip over the top, something different, inside pass.
Mitchell Stringer. Last tackle. Salford fans appealing for a penalty, none forthcoming. Tim Hartley with a confident little dab through, but collected in the end quite easily by Ian Hardman.
Good work by Cliff Beverley, made sure that he went towards a whitewash.
Some more scores coming in, 12 all here. Wakefield have come back a little bit at Leeds, and Hull are ahead again at Wigan. You'll keep in touch with all the scores here on Sky Sports tonight of the 3 matches that are taking place in the Engage Super League. Leeds and Saints, of course, top and second. Hull with an agenda of their own. Wigan with an agenda of their own under Ian Millward. And this is Roby, who finds Long. A little stab through by Long. Allowed to progress with Vinnie Anderson. Went behind Roby, but he managed to turn it into a decent pass. Gets the ball away to Hooper. Wide it goes to Gardner. Wonderful defence. Malcolm Alker.
Unbelievable. They took the wrong option, perhaps. They had men on the inside, but take nothing away. Neat little grubber kick through by Sean Long. Did well to keep it alive. Good work by Gilmore. He's having a fine game. But look at that.
We should send him a watch, Steve-O, for that effort.
Unbelievable, wasn't it? Well, I'm a former hooker, and as far as I'm concerned, I never run that far to do a tackle. And even this fella must be impressed. Not happy, but certainly impressed. And I think he knows what I'm just saying, is that they had a man on the inside that he could have just spun back. When you're going towards the whitewash and you know you have someone coming down the middle, it's always worth a look. But as I mentioned, Alker's tackle out of the top draw.
Yes, it was a try saver from Malcolm Alker, and he's been hurt as a result, and that means a quick return. Or is that Stewart on the bench?
Stewart, I think it is.
Anthony Stewart it is on the bench, not Malcolm Alker. He's out there still. It means a quick return to action for Simon Baldwin, by the way. And we've got news of Anthony Stewart. Bill.
Yeah, it is Anthony Stewart who's there in the Salford City Reds dugout in a lot of pain. It's the right arm, it could be the right wrist that's caused the problem. I think sustained in that little burst of activity there. And there is the former Saints winger.
Robinson flicks the ball back inside.
Big problems for the big second row for Saints, Vinnie Anderson. He's picked a knock up on that left elbow. He's in a lot of trouble.
The kick downfield, though, will be collected by Paul Wellens behind his own goal line. He'll run it back as far as Baldwin.
Back it up, left side! Back it up! Diving.
Now then, here comes young Ian Hardman again. A good defence from Salford on show.
That's what I've been impressed with, Eddie. We've mentioned the enthusiasm, but they're going as a unit. Look at this defence. Bang! Well, over the past 7 or 8 weeks, they really have not hit the top form, but I must say that Carl Harrison must be very, very pleased with the defence and the way they're playing.
Long couple of little dummies, and a good job that Rutgerson wasn't fooled. It's the last tackle, though, for St Helens. Lyon gives it to Wilkin. The kick down the line from John Wilkin. And not a bad kick, because Hodgson has to run the ball back.
Oh,
good on his
tremendous
feet.
stuff.
But he couldn't get away from Lyon second time.
What a superb kick, though.
Here's Junior Lange again, taking on Hooper and Paul Anderson.
Good positioning by Hodgson. But the troops were there, led once again by Jamie Lyon.
Gilmore missed the tackle. Vinnie Anderson fully recovered from that bang on the elbow. Didn't. Here is Littler. Tackled by Roby.
It's important Salford try to get in a good position so that Robinson can get a good kick away. But they failed to meet the halfway line.
Chris Charles on the last will play it to Alka. Back it goes to Luke Robinson. He'll switch the direction, give it back to Tim Hartley. And the kick from Tim Hartley bounces, and the Salford players have to give young Hardman 10 metres because they were all in front. Now the referee says play in. There comes the tackle. All in front of the kicker then, the Salford City Reds. Wellens.
That was the type of kick that the City Reds needed. You cannot kick the ball to that returning back three, the two wingers and the full-back for St Helens. If they'd got it on the full-on play one, you're in trouble. The ball landed between the winger and the full-back, hit the floor 2 or 3 times and gave the Salford line enough time to push up and keep Saints pinned down in their own quarter.
Balls come loose. This is Hooper. And Hooper gets away from one, can't get away from Baldwin. The tackle count continues.
That's about the 3rd time, you know, Saints have tried to offload in very difficult positions within their own half.
Anderson,
oh, the big fella's away.
Makes the break. Tallow is there. And Tallow, he ran into the back of Anderson, and Tallow actually was being pulled back when he went to receive the pass. The referee says it's on the last, and Long has knocked on. Well, Sean Long's off the pace tonight.
Certainly is, but that should have been a penalty. What about the break from this fella? He thought, come on, someone get to me very quickly. He may have gone 20 yards then.
Alka switches the direction of play. Rutgerson. Lovely pick-up by Alka, one-handed from the acting half-back position. And a very good tackle also by James Graham.
He's a super player, you know, Malcolm Alka. Gives it everything, doesn't he?
Beverley. 4 minutes to half-time. Salford all square with the Saints. 12 all. Chris Charles. Hooper with the tackle there. Anderson lifting the legs. Last tackle here for Salford. And Littler trying to stab the ball through. It comes up for Gareth Haggerty. Wellens with a very important tackle.
And that's the sort of thing you need. You've got to be creative. And that's a second occasion that put through the little one through. Great defence on that occasion from Paul Wellens. It had to be. Now then, Salford, don't fall for the sucker punch. Do not be looking at the clock and hoping that they can go in level.
So many teams do that against St Helens, and it is fatal. This is Vinnie Anderson. Roby Tackled by Olka. That's 4 tackles gone. Anderson infield it goes to James Graham to the halfway line on the last. Good defence again from Salford. Long. There's a high kick. Hodgson's positioned himself to get underneath it. Oh, he lost that. It doesn't matter as it happens. That was a much better kick from Long.
Certainly was. They'll be happy with that. They'll try to just keep Salford pinned down. Well, there's no sun at the moment. Maybe a pigeon got across his eye line. Does happen.
Decent breeze coming right into his face there, Eddie, and he's done the best thing. If he's not clearly confident of catching that ball on the full and bringing it back into play, what he doesn't want to do is touch it and concede the ball from what has been a scrum for him.
And penalty at the scrum called by the referee, and then 10 metres march because St Helens had disputed the call.
Good refereeing as well by Ian Smith. Sooner we get rid of all this silly back-chatting to the official, the better.
They've done a lot of good things, but if you look at that play there, they've shifted it 20 metres and haven't gained a metre going forward. I know it helps them on that play.
They're going to gain metres here because that was a high tackle. Jason Hooper. The arm strayed, I'm afraid, a little high into the face.
Well, that's 3 penalties conceded in the space of 20 seconds.
Usually a score on the back of that situation, Mike.
Can Salford score to lead at half-time, give themselves hope for a prize victory against the Saints? Haggerty kicking out with the feet. Here now is Hartley. It's with Baldwin. Baldwin eventually takes the tackle, leads ahead at Wakefield. A minute to go to half-time, and it's a real battle at Wigan. 14-12 to Hull. It's a real battle here at the Willows also, 12-all. Last minute of the first half here as well. And Salford looking for something to take into the dressing rooms at half-time with Olka on the inside is Rutgerson. Good tackle by Anderson. He was scrapped to the deck with Sean Rutgerson. Here we come with Hartley. Hartley, great feet, he's going to score! Hartley gets his second try of the night, and Salford will take a half-time lead with them into the dressing room. Tim Hartley.
How's that, St Helens? It's not you that are scoring with seconds remaining, and there was only about 20 seconds of this first half. He has shown, as we mentioned early in the piece, he showed his skill, stepping off that left foot. He did it twice, and he just sails over. 19 years of age. Was it a gamble? I'll tell you now, he's got the 4, the TRY, and they are cock-a-hoop. That was sensational. Smile, Carl. Smile. Oh, well.
Not yet, but he has got plenty to smile about. Because as I said earlier, if they're ahead at half-time, they will believe they can win, because their 6 victories that they've claimed so far this season have come from a winning lead at half-time. And Tim Hartley has ensured that they will turn round with the lead, and with the kick to come from Chris Charles. And there's James Lowes alongside him, and Alan Hunt and Steve Sims in the middle. And with Scott Naylor, that's the brains trust here at Salford. And Chris Charles here to add an extra 2 points to give Salford a 6-point cushion as they enter the dressing rooms at half-time. They're defying the history books and the form book again. Salford against St Helens here. Charles, it's 18-12 at half-time. There's the siren. Hartley with 2 tries, Littler with 1, Chris Charles with a couple of goals, Jamie Lyon and John Wilkin for St Helens, and Sean Long with a couple of goals. Tim Hartley, 19 years of age, a winger for the last 3, a representative for the Lancashire Academy, his first try against Wakefield last week. He has stepped up to the plate here tonight against the Saints. And Salford lead, courtesy of Hartley's second try at half-time, by 18 points to 12. small side here at the Willows, and Salford were out on the field fully 5 minutes before we returned to the Willows with our cameras. They were doing ball drills and getting ready for the second half, and Saints also emerged quite early because it is a stiflingly warm night, I'm sure, inside those dressing rooms here. And Salford ahead by 18 points to 12 at half-time, and we're about to get the second half underway. Well, this daunting task that Salford face doesn't look too daunting just now. They are 6 points to the good. They're 40 minutes away from a memorable victory, and it will be interesting to see what happens in the second half. And I just wonder what the two coaches, Carl Harrison and Daniel Anderson of St Helens, have been saying in the rooms at half-time. You know, half-time really came at a shocking time for Salford. They'd have been happy just to carry on for the full 80.
Yeah, I think you're right there, and I'm sure that Daniel Anderson told his charges to make sure that the composure was complete. It certainly wasn't. Remember, they gave away 3 silly penalties, 1 for back-chatting. You can't afford to do that. Of course, Salford's coach, Carl Harrison, he'll be quite happy. He'll get more and more. I think they'll play a very safety-first game. A lot of drives and then maybe the kick and chase.
The kick from Hartley is straight down the throat of Paul Wellens, and St Helens will look to counter-attack here right at the start of this second half. And Carl Harrison, he never normally has a big smile on his face during the course of the match. He always scowls, and I don't think he was too happy with the quality of that kick from this young standoff half.
Well, if it stays its way right through on the 80th minute and the hooter goes, I think we might just squeeze one out of the big fella.
Here's Sean Long. He gets the ball away to Gilmore, and now it's Tallow. It could be one of those nights.
Certainly looks that way, doesn't it? Good sliding defence yet again. Great work there by Luke Robinson.
Let's get injury news from Bill.
We saw Anthony Stewart going off in the first half with what looked like a nasty injury, right arm, and it turns out that it's a dislocated elbow, and there could be further complications as well. He's on his way to hospital at the moment, so obviously no further part for Anthony Stewart, and another name added to a lengthy Salford City Reds injury list. That's the 9th regular first team player who is out injured, and they don't do things by halves here, because by and large they're all pretty lengthy injuries as well, so they're really struggling at the moment, Salford City Reds, which makes this effort even more commendable. The news from Saints, who were wondering about the fitness of Kieran Cunningham, well, no injury worries there, and the word is that Cunningham will be back out there probably very shortly for Saints.
Rutgerson makes the break up the middle for Salford. Critical moment of the match here. Rutgerson is on his own, really, couldn't get the ball away to the supporting cast. Now then, it's with Gareth Haggerty, it's with Luke Robinson. Back it comes to Chris Charles. Charles pops the ball up for Stuart Littler. He runs laterally, flings a pass into the arms of Rutgerson, off the deck to Hartley. Brilliant play. It's with Cliff Beverley. And Beverley is halted down there near the corner flag on the last tackle. It's played quickly to Junior Lange. Here is Hartley. Now it's with Robinson. Robinson will turn the crossfield kick, looking for David Hodgson. He'll find Haggerty. Haggerty has missed it.
Can't believe it. It was there, and Haggerty, neat little cross kick across the post. He should have scored.
Well, if he'd have caught it, he would have done. And that could be a vital turning point in this match, although here maybe comes another, because Gilmore has dropped the ball.
Well, that was reefed out. Little doubt about it. That was definitely reefed out. He has got that wrong.
That just evens up the one in the first half, Mike, when we're in a very, very similar situation.
Head in, 2 heads.
You're not saying that referees square things up, Paul, are you?
No, not in the slightest. It's just
be careful what you say.
It's just a feeling sometimes what goes around comes round, and the Saints benefited in the opening 2 minutes of the first half, and the Reds have just benefited then.
Don't let Mr. Stevenson suck you into any controversy. Here is Charles.
2, come on, back it up, left side.
Wash your mouth out, Eduardo.
Alker to Rutgerson. Up the middle he goes again.
3.
I wonder when we look back on this match how vital that miss from Haggerty might be. Alker gets it away. Here is Hartley.
Eddie, when Alker runs like that, unlike St Helens when their dummy half shoots out, there aren't the players up in supporting the holes to take advantage of Alker's vision.
Robinson back to Littler and beats Gilmore, can't get away from the next man,
Again,
who was Jason Hooper.
We see Luke Robinson enjoying himself. He's controlling this game.
And there's another good kick all along the deck. It's an awkward one. And they're going to get another set of 6, courtesy of the great chase. Junior Lange, he just barreled the youngster over the line.
It's all about creating that pressure, and the way that Luke Robinson is kicking, as I said at half-time, is completely outplaying his opposite, Sean Long, and that takes some doing.
Little Luke Robinson, 20 years of age. Sean Long in the Great Britain squad. Robinson not. Robinson an England international. Here he is again. Hands it on to Mark Shipway.
Well, we've been talking about it for quite some time in regards to, the new coach, Daniel Anderson. He really has lifted the Sean Long game so far. Salford on the run.
Beautiful hands there from Haggerty to Charles. On it goes to Hartley via Robinson. And Cunningham is back out there, as you saw. He completed that tackle. Here's Robinson again. Now it's back to Rutgerson.
The point I was making, Eddie, is that, I'm sure that Anderson said at half-time, come on, Sean, lift your game, you have to.
Robinson is at the heart of everything. This is Littler. He tries to step on the inside of Talau. Referee not conned. It's Mark Shipway. That's the last tackle. They're 3, 4, 5 metres away from the line with Charles. A drive in by Littler. Can he get the ball away? The answer is the negative.
Well, that surprised me. They worked that short blindside when it has worked so often. Luke Robinson, the little chip through, and if Robinson's not around, then Malcolm Alker, the hooker, he should have stepped in. Now this is where you really lift your defence.
Leeds pressing the gas against Wakefield, and it's still 14-12 Hull at Wigan. They're a bit ahead of us in those 2 games. Here we have 6.5 minutes of the second half gone, and St Helens trying to work the ball away from their own line, and Cunningham tackled by Beverley. It was a cracker.
And is that a change to the norm, Paul, from St Helens? Don't they normally dummy half run and just go down the middle of the field? Shifting it there isn't what we typically see from them.
No, and they had a compressed defence, but Kieran Cunningham was a little bit out wide, and a sheer sign, I think, of concern from St Helens that after 5 minutes into the second half, young Roby's off and Kieran Cunningham's back on, and he was loitering with intent out wide.
And that's a great ball out wide from Lyon. Oh, mile forward to Wellens.
Inexperience there.
And he's hurt as well. Is Ian Hardman?
Was he taken out? That's a big question. We got a real clattering.
Well, it was hey lads hey for the Salford defence, wasn't it? They could see the danger.
Yeah, he really did get a clattering.
And that was Junior Lange over on the far side. This is Shipway, meanwhile, up the middle for Salford. Friday night football, of course, back at the Willows this season. The David Watkins era, it was one of the best tickets in town. And they're trying to revitalise those days again. Here is Hodgson. Gets it away to Baldwin. Huddersfield Bradford, by the way, is on Sky Sport 3. Saturday evening, 6 o'clock. Balls come free, and it was reefed by Roby. It's back to Wong. They have another set of 6 here, Salford. It's with Rutgerson. Glorious opportunities to Salford. But it's spot on the referee. This is Junior Lange. This is a great performance from Salford for 48 minutes. Can they keep it going? Robinson to Hodgson. Tries to step away from Cunningham. That's a difficult task. Alker, the dummy half. Here is Gareth Haggerty. Drives it into within 12 metres of the line on the last.
Little grubber kick again.
It's with Hartley. Oh, Hartley's looking for the hat-trick. Nearly. It's Charles who will score. Chris Charles for Salford. Well, Tim Hartley was just inches away from a hat-trick, but the youngster showed such a cool head on young shoulders. He didn't panic. The call came from Charles, and it's 4 points.
Well, they held back, they anticipated the kick, and good work. Beautiful offload. Oh, this this is superb. What a wonderful passage of play. St Helens, they are scraping the barrel. They haven't had much to shout about of the Salford fans over the past few weeks, but this is a wonderful, wonderful effort. They are taking St Helens to the cleaners. I'll say it again, they are taking St Helens to the cleaners.
Chris Charles, who scored the try, has got a 100% record with the boot. This is a massive kick for Salford City Reds. Wakefield trailing at home to Leeds. Salford on the verge of something against St Helens, and he's pulled it wide of the post. But the gap is 10 for all of that. Salford 22, St Helens 12.
Well, they were doing the right thing, getting field position, the kicks being good, and it was because the kicks had been so elegantly put through and turning this St Helens side that they anticipated on that last. They anticipated the kick, and Hartley, who was having the game of his life, just threw the dummy and then offloaded. Super stuff.
Rutgerson again, and if St Helens need any encouragement, Salford were leading at Wakefield by 10 points, and they were a lot later into the game as well, and Wakefield came back and won. They were 24-14 on the hour, so there's 10 minutes grace for St Helens yet, but surely you can't perform and have Houdiniacs performed against you week after week.
In many ways, I don't take anything away from Wakefield. Salford lost that game because they couldn't hang on to the ball when they had it. They dropped the ball 3 times in that vital last quarter of the match, and that possession that they gifted to their opponents, which at that time of the game they didn't deserve to have, gave Wakefield a chance to win it. And tonight, we've seen pretty good control. They've got to keep that control of the ball and kick perhaps a little bit better than that.
The kick was under pressure really from Hodgson. Robinson couldn't get the ball away. It arrived at the feet of Wellens, and the St Helens full-back will now try and launch the counter.
Well, they've lacked a lot of spark as St Helens, but put that down to the Salford eagerness in defence. They've really smashed them.
Here's Gilmore for St Helens. Can't get the ball away.
The amazing thing is, you know, when you look at this St Helens pack, you would have thought that it would have just run right over their opposites. They failed to do it. They've failed to give Saints a good platform, and that's why we've not seen the skills from the 2 halfbacks as yet.
Here is Long. That's Vinnie Anderson. And that was a nothing pass from Long.
Well, the fella at dummy half now, Kieran Cunningham, he has the ability. We haven't seen him run from that area.
High kick, it's a hanger this. Out on the full, was it? No. It was inch perfect in the end, but they were looking for the men out wide. They were looking for the scrum. It was a great kick, wasn't it?
Done very well to leave it then, has David Hodgson, similar to the one he did in the first half. Couldn't guarantee he was going to get a clean pick on the ball, couldn't get him back in the field of play, and wasn't going to give the scrum to St Helens.
Leeds are taking revenge for that victory over Easter, and Hull are beating Wigan.
Time back on. Undefined, yes.
Of course, the Hull-Wigan scoreline is not the best for Warrington and Paul Cullen, but Warrington go to Leigh on Sunday. It's a great race, you know, for Paul, isn't it, for this top 6?
Absolutely. We had our worst day of the season at the Willows on Good Friday, or Black Friday as it's now become known in Warrington. But doesn't this put it in perspective? This is not a bad team. It's a very proud club, and it's very well coached. And if Salford can do this to St Helens, they can do it to anyone.
I thought you might take some comfort from this scoreline. This is Chris Charles.
Eddie, interesting change there now. Hooker John Clough comes on for Salford. Alka moves into the back row. How will he go now in the next 25 minutes?
The kick from Robinson was measured to go round the back of Aidy Gardner. It actually bounced very kindly for the St Helens winger, but the little half-back leads the chase.
Oh, he's been outstanding tonight.
Well, he's up against Sean Long, who's in the Great Britain squad. Luke Robinson isn't. In many ways, the forgotten man as far as international football is concerned. I think they might know all about him now.
Well, his pinch one is Kieran Cunningham, the experience, and not surprisingly, St Helens want to get on with it.
Not even close.
but they've lacked cohesion. The support play has been non-existent, and as I say, running from dummy half is what they need more.
The one predictable thing that we say, the ball went backwards, by the way, from Sean Long, and here now is Gilmore. That's the second tackle. The one thing we do say about Super League is its unpredictability. That's the only thing you can predict. Salford 0, Bradford 58. Bradford 4, St Helens 66. Look at this scoreline we've got here. 22-12 to Salford. Cunningham gets the ball away. Fassavalu pops it up. Salford.
They haven't got the minds on the job, St Helens, I can assure you of that. Far too many errors, silly knock-ons.
Salford on the verge of an historic win here.
If you equate it to athletics, though, Steve, or imagine a man breaking the 5,000 metre world record one week. To ask him to try and do that again the following week is virtually impossible, isn't it? And that's what I suppose where St Helens were last week. It was an outstanding performance, really, wasn't it? And it just shows it's physically impossible to back that up on second week.
Littler.
When you talk about it being a physical game, I don't think it was. I think that it did St Helens no favours that they won so easily.
The kick from Alker is going to skip its way over the dead ball line.
There's an old saying, Phil, that a lot of the players often look at the press cuttings and say, oh, weren't we great? Week in, week out, you've got to just, I know it's not, take each week as it comes.
Oh, I was wondering where the old saying was
Well, I bring it up.
Sometimes you've got to factor in the emotional baggage that goes along with the win. For Saints to beat Bradford by that score at Odsall, there's no love lost between those clubs. It's almost a Challenge Cup final kind of atmosphere, and you've got to factor that in. Emotionally, they put an awful lot of effort into that game.
They're going to have to put a lot of effort into this game to win it in the last 24 minutes. 22-12, Salford lead. Saints on the fourth tackle. Cunningham with a little dart from dummy half, flicks the ball away again.
He nearly dropped it.
He nearly did drop it again, Fassavalu. This is the last. There's Long with the kick. Again, it goes high. It hangs in the wind. Hodgson's underneath it. It bounces off Hodgson's head, back to zero. And wide it goes from Roby. Here's a chance for Hardman. Here's a chance for Lyon. Lyon gets his second. Referee calls time off just to check whether it did come back off David Hodgson, whether Hodgson was interfered up in the air. Wellens is after the football, there's no doubt about that.
No, they're going for it. This is play on. No doubt about it at all. You can see they're both looking for it. Comes off the chest of Hodgson, so this will be TRY. And you know, they're pretty fortunate there, because I don't think St Helens realised that it had gone back to 6. Yeah, that's a knock-on. No doubt about it. They were going for the football. I don't think he was deliberately taken out. And therefore, this will stand. They panicked somewhat, did Saints. Roby threw out a really, really long pass. This will be confirmation of a TRY.
St Helens fans already celebrating, and they will now. But they have got a lot of work to do yet to get the 2 points that are on offer here. Jamie Lyon takes his tries tally to 12 for the season, but there's a lot of work to do yet for Saints.
Well, when you're having a bad game and you're in a lot of trouble and you're not really getting any cohesive attack together, the one thing that you can always depend upon is the unreliable, or sometimes the very reliable, high kick. You just take it a chance. It can be 50-50, can go your way. Certainly did on this occasion. There you see, sheer panic, but they got away with it. Great positional play. Hardman had come in, and the experience of this man, Jamie Lyon, made sure that he was back on the inside to make the 4 points. This will be interesting.
Long has kicked these for fun in the past, but not tonight. It's 22 points to 16, but I bet the alarm bells are ringing around Carl Harrison right now. He'll go back a week and remember what happened at Wakefield. The match was in his inside pocket. He was going home with the points. Wakefield came back and pinched it. Daniel Anderson hopes lightning really can strike twice.
Well, there's one thing that can be sure. They'll go for a long kick into the corner. Remember, they started this game with a short kick-off, went about 11 metres. Now then, as this lifted St Helens, psychologically, if Saints score again within the next 2 minutes, that is when the alarm bells will start going absolutely crazy.
22-16 with 21.5 minutes remaining here at the Willows. Say what you like about St Helens though, and Long goes for a 40-20, but that just went a little bit askew. It went infield. Hodgson will have to pick it up. He will have to pick it up. Look at the chase. Oh, he's done brilliantly. Great on his feet, Hodgson. And speed as well. He eventually gets to the 20-metre line before Hooper finishes him off.
Not only that, he could see himself going towards the touchline. He made sure that he wasn't a matter of getting metres forward. He wanted to get back into the field of play. He knows possession is vital.
This is Mark Shipway. Now then, 60 points to 6, Leeds ahead, and Ali Lauatiti, I'm told, has scored 5 tries there to equal the Super League try-scoring record of 5 in a match. They've scored 11 tries, by the way, tonight, Leeds, but they haven't kicked that many goals, and it's very close at Wigan, 18 points to 22. Wow. Leeds marching on, and how encouraged will they be with this scoreline at the Willows? But how encouraged will Salford be if Carl Harrison could just get the message out that Wakefield are getting a toweling?
You've also got to think about the psychological factors coming into this game now. We know you've spoken about the fact that they did fall apart late in that game, but the one thing that Salford have been doing at the moment is it's been very cautious football. 5 drives and a kick, 5 drives and a kick, but they've got to make sure that they come up with something a little bit different. Just shock St Helens.
This is Long, but no way through for him. Must say, you have to take your hat off to the Rhinos, don't you? That's a potential banana skin, just as this is for St Helens. And haven't they dealt with it? Haven't they got revenge for the Easter defeat that Wakefield gave them at Headingley? Here's an up and under again from Long. Hodgson underneath it this time, cleanly. And Hodgson to counter. Another great run from the fullback. That's why he's in the Great Britain squad.
Great position, great ability.
Big hit by Fasavalou on Luke Robinson.
Cleaned him up as well.
Chris Charles, good ball. And McAvoy was almost through. An important tackle by McAvoy. And Gilmore is hurt in back play as Olka drives it forward to halfway. Quarter of the match remaining. Great contest at the Willows. Clough. And here is Mitchell Stringer. Gets the ball away. Knock on by Junior Lange.
Oh, just fingertips. Took it on the half volley. Well, they really had to try something, that's for sure. No doubt about it. Just touched it slightly. And it's times like this when you go into the final quarter, nerves start to play its part. I really don't feel that Salford can just hang on.
Jamie Lyon makes the break for Salford. Jamie Lyon goes under the sticks for St Helens. A hat-trick of tries for Jamie Lyon, and the former Parramatta heel almost single-handedly has dragged St Helens back into this contest. A world-class performer, Jamie Lyon. Man of the match against the Bulls last week with 2 tries and a goal. He could be on the way to another watch tonight, but more importantly, Jamie Lyon has just thrown St Helens the lifeline.
This was a knock-on. It was as well from Junior Lange and from the scrum base. And they've paid the price yet again. Cliff Beverley, we knew it was going to be a big ask for him to stop this fella. He's come up with a hat-trick. But surely these coaches, and that's the reason why Carl Harrison turned away in total disgust. You've got to go for this man's legs. Look at the power in the upper part of his body.
Jamie Lyon with his second hat-trick of the year for St Helens. The extras added by Sean Long. And suddenly St Helens are back and level again at 22 points all.
Eddie, he's almost an unfair advantage to the St Helens side, Jamie Lyon. It's not fair. The Salford side actually lined up 2 defenders, both Hartley and Beverley, against him at that scrum, and neither of them were capable of stopping him. He can beat 2, 3, 4 men one-on-one.
But if one was going for the legs, Phil, and the other one was trying to stop him offloading, yeah, that's fair enough. But when you both go and clash, it's just not on.
His footwork is that late. When you line him up to put your shot on him and take your stance and get the purchase from the feet, he just moves away. Sensational footwork.
I want to ask you one question, Paul. St Helens sold the best centre in this country to Warrington, Martin Gleeson. You've said that he's worth the money already. Did they replace him with the best in the world?
Well, I'll argue not. You know, we wouldn't have got Jamie Lyon. He wouldn't have come to Warrington at that point, and we're more than happy with the business that we've done.
But it was a sad day when they had to let Gleeson go to Warrington, but boy, haven't they replaced him.
Well, not for us, it wasn't.
Here's Farsavalou.
Let's put it this way, Eddie. They're the 2 of the top centres in Super League.
Absolutely, and they're a delight to watch.
Without doubt. Yeah, they are.
And we've got a real finish on our hands here, and Saints sniff something, and I can hear ring-a-ding-ding all around Carl Harrison because those bells are chiming. 66-6 leads. Saints, they've got to come up with something to keep pegs with the leaders, and Long might provide it, but not with a tackle like that from Malcolm Alka.
Well, we'll be thinking of the oneer. Will they go for the drop goal?
Wilkin drives it in, they're on the last. Roby's there. Here is Long, and Long will crossfield kick looking for Farsavalou. It's back for Wellens. Wellens will score. It came back off the post, and I can hear the great escape coming up again.
Well planned. They're all onside. That there is no doubt about. Everyone was behind that 10-metre line. They probably want to see how it finishes up. It hits the post. They turn him over. Does he get the ball down? Nothing wrong there. No one was holding back. Does he get the football down? Yes, I think he does. Well, it's an amazing game, isn't it, rugby league? You test your arm, and it just bobbed up so nicely. Yeah, that's a try.
Listen to the St Helens fans in the background. They've just watched what you have on our big screen, and this will be a try. A try for Paul Wellens, and suddenly the St Helens juggernaut is underway again. They gave Salford the lead, and you have to feel sorry for the City Reds at this moment.
Beautiful play by Long. Okay. Chanced his arm, on his leg, should I say, and it hits the post. Isn't it amazing how it can just change around in the space of a few moments? They are just amazing, this St Helens squad. You've got to feel sad for the Salford Reds.
St Helens are in front for the first time. They lead 28 points to 22. And they have just hit Salford with 3 tries in 8 minutes. And you have to feel sorry for Carl Harrison.
He's bewildered, and he knows it. Absolutely bewildered. And I think when he stood up and turned around, Paul Cullen, remember when Jamie Lyon just brushed his way through 2 would-be tacklers? It was written on his face that he'd think it was going to come to him.
Jamie Lyon then and Paul Wellens, they collided in mid-air, and Wellens took control of this. Look at that.
How on earth did he take that?
Sorry, Paul, we were just interrupting you there.
Well, I think I heard the words then. St Helens scoring 3 tries in 8 minutes, and we haven't heard that before.
That rings a bell for you as well, doesn't it?
Certainly does. You know, at the moment, we've got 13 minutes to go. If you'd have offered Carl 28-22 before this game, it'd have bit your arm off.
Here is Wilkin. St Helens are on that roll.
And bringing that roll about is a man with the ball in his hands now, Kieran Cunningham. He has started running with the football. He has created all sorts of havoc, and most importantly, he's created 3 penalties.
Oh, penalty on the last tackle conceded by Simon Baldwin. Well, Carl Harrison will say this is a cardinal sin. Actually, there was more than Baldwin, there was Chris Charles in there as well. But they know the danger that Jamie Lyon poses. And they know the danger that Saints pose when they get on the roll. Not kicking for goal, why should they? Because this match now is there for winning. Robert hits Mark Edmondson. Cunningham is there. Back it comes to Long. Into the arms of Hooper. Here is Willie Talau. Now it's Eddie Gardner forward.
Forward pass. It was blown well before Gardner even attempted to put the football down. What about the momentum rule? That didn't come into play.
Eddie, I wonder whether the Salford players, there were some good signs of positive body language coming from them there, but if you'd said to them before this game, look, we're going to go into 12 minutes from the end of the match, we're 6 points behind, what are we going to be thinking, what are we going to try, how are we going to play? And that's really the question that Carl Harrison's got to think about, not the fact that St Helens have come from behind to take the lead. What can the Salford side do now they're in this position?
What can they do? This is Nathan McAvoy.
Well, they can't rely on this 5 drives and a kick and hope for the mistake.
Junior Lange.
They've got to look towards the Superman, and that's the little halfback Luke Robinson. Little chip over the top, though Wellens is well up.
And Olker's had a big game for Salford tonight as well.
He always does. Gives everything, does this fella.
There's Robinson now. Last tackle, crossfield kick, bouncing. Oh, picked up, flicked to the ground. Referee says that was forward too.
Well, that's what we were looking for.
Tim Hartley was hunting that then.
Something different. And it came from Luke Robinson. Oh, good job that Jamie Lyon got to it. Did eventually go forward.
Clear the rods, line Simon Baldwin.
Now, you'd normally say about this, a lot of other sides, that when you get to that point, you say, let's just close shop, but not Saints.
Here's Lyon again, he's through once more. That's touched in flight. Back to 6. Back to 0.
I don't know about looking for the kicking game at Luke Robinson in that critical position. Somebody wants to get on the back of Malcolm Alker. He's absolutely sensational running from dummy half, but he's at the line on his own. If you push up on the outside him, there's holes in the Saints line. You can't wait for the kick from Luke Robinson. You've got to give a little bit more.
Look at Cunningham here. Look at Cunningham here. He was still going there until Hodgson got to him.
Well, he's just come alive over the last 15 minutes as Cunningham.
And Talau. The ball went up in the air, it went forward anyway. 10 minutes to go and St Helens with a 6-point lead.
No doubt about it. That's the hands of Willie Talau. Messing around.
Come on. Kieran, head in.
There's Kieran. He has really just he's the man that's won this game for them, if they can hang on.
If they win it.
No doubt in my mind, he's the man that's turned it.
It's with Stuart Littler now. And 70 now leads. 70 points to 6, and still a 4-point ball game at Wigan. Hull just ahead. This is Haggerty. Not tackled. Ooh, now he is by Anderson. Alker to Rutgerson. Oh, an interception. Thank you, said Sean Long.
Well, they got to him immediately. He took the football, but not the best pass.
Fassavalu. Cunningham to Hooper. Hooper back it goes to Gilmore. Bounces away from Luke Robinson. Can't get away from the next two in. I wonder if St Helens will be tempted here for the 1 point. It would mean Salford have to score twice. It might just wrap the win up.
Well, it's the obvious thing to do, but they've offloaded it.
They have. With Wellens, he's just dropped the shoulder. He's back on the inside now. The 10 metres out, and Long's in position. Will Long go for the 1 just to wrap the match up? Yes, he will, and yes, he does.
I'm impressed, Eddie.
Well, I had to get it in before you.
You called it like a true trooper. It's just common sense. Paul Cullen, 6 points, time's ticking away. if it's there, you've got to take it, especially when you've got a man like Sean Long.
As cool as, because they really didn't plan for that. They were going to move that ball to the wide right early on. It was the offload that Paul Wellens picked up that brought that ball back into the middle channel. And once that landed there, Sean Long just whacked it over. Felt a little bit sorry for Sean Rutterton. He threw that wild pass that was intercepted, and he's been absolutely outstanding in this game in his spells on the field.
So here now comes St Helens again, and you just feel that the air is coming out of the Salford balloon.
Well, they're dispirited, rightly so. They've had control of this game right up until that moment that Kieran Cunningham decided to take them on.
Here is Willie Tallow. He stays in the field of play just. Little was trying to drag him over the whitewash. Gilmore to Long to Paul Anderson. Biff and barge from Anderson, takes 3 to bring him down into the last.
Will it be an up and under?
It's with Long. A dab to the in-goal area. Oops. And it's going to be another set of 6. McAvoy got to it, was hurt in the process.
Took a bad knock on the knee.
Let's quickly, well, there's this break in play for the injury to Nathan McAvoy, get down to the press benches. Dave Hadfield, who is your man of the match?
Some great efforts from Salford tonight. Tim Hartley, of course, Luke Robinson, he's been very good. Malcolm Alker, typically industrious. Pretty scratchy display really from St Helens, but one man's been a class apart. We gave him a watch last week. Might be able to open up a watch shop if and when he ever goes back to Wee War. A man of the match tonight, Jamie Lyon.
Very well deserved. Cunningham certainly turned the course of the game with his play, and how about that from Anderson to Hooper. But Lyon gets his second watch in as many games, and Long is running with vigour, and Long wins the match for sure for St Helens now.
Through a beautiful dummy. They were very quiet for 60 minutes of this game, well, the Saints supporters, but the quality, like cream, it has risen to the surface, and this man has really showed it. Disappointment for that fellow Carl Harrison, and
well,
rightly
he
so.
will be looking round for the Artful Dodger because he thinks his pocket has been picked for the second week in a row.
I don't think he should think that way. I think his team have done very well here tonight, and there's some good signs for the rest of the season. They've just folded at the end to a real champion side who can win when they're not playing well, and that is St Helens at present. Sean Long, I think his kicking in the last 25 minutes has perhaps been the difference between the two sides, the accuracy of that, and then he takes advantage of a tiring defence.
And can I just say that there is a little sideshow involved in all of this. We are watching here the 2,000th point that Sean Long has scored for the St Helens club. Only Kel Cosworth and Paul Loughlin have managed that milestone. It's a personal night of achievement for Long. It is a wonderful night for St Helens, and for the way that again they've clawed their way back into a match that was running away from them. And Long to try and add the extras. He's pulled it the wrong side of the posts. 33 points to 22. Oh, we will feel proud for an hour and absolutely heartbroken for 20 minutes.
Well, it looked to the two things that occurred in that second half. One is, remember, the knock-on from Junior Lange. Just couldn't grasp it when they were still in front.
Penalty to Salford.
He's touched it before it went past the 10. Oh, and he's pushing someone out of the way. Well, can we have a consolation? Surely the scoreboard cannot be dragged back.
No, I think it's St Helens night in terms of the points scored with less than 4 minutes to go. Here is Robinson. Wide it goes to Haggerty, and behind the man. They've lost the momentum there. Shipway keeps control though for Salford, with Haggerty driving up the middle.
I think they're just out on their feet of the Salford Reds. It's been a wonderful effort.
Alker, Rutgerson.
Psychologically, you know, it must be a nightmare for them.
Play on, Hartley gets it away to Shipway, back it comes, here is Beverley! And Lyon gets the tackle in on him. Tackle count continues. Lange, meeting a St Helens sandwich then. Beverley, looping pass, Hartley. Robinson called and got it, head high. Now it's Stuart Littler. A little fumble there by Mason. He manages to get the ball away to Chris Charles. Last tackle here for Salford. Alker and Hartley. And St Helens muscle up in defence again and keep him out. It's the turnover.
Well, they went through some dodgy times, did Saints. They looked underdone, didn't they, early in this match?
How many times have they given teams a start, though, and come back and won?
But it just shows you the quality of having a person like Kieran Cunningham to come off the bench and all of a sudden start to play. We didn't see it from him in the first half.
Stuart Littler! Back it up!
All this achieved, of course, without Nick Fozzard. A cramp here for Lee Gilmore. Achieved without Nick Fozzard and without the captain of St Helens and his country, Paul Sculthorpe. And although Leeds have hammered Wakefield, this will keep St Helens within 2 points of the Rhinos at the top of the table. 70 points to 6, 2 minutes to go there. And Hull ahead, 2 minutes to go, 28-24. It's a great game at the JJB Stadium. This has been a cracker as well. And Anderson has to go to ground. That's the last. They're still inside their own half, St Helens. And Long will hoist the ball downfield. Claimed by Hodgson.
Great take as well. He's had a fine match as a fullback.
And Cunningham gets to him, just hounds him down. And Lyon gives him a great pat on the back for the effort there. Lange. Mason and Gilmore bring him down. It's a victory for Saints. I'm sure Carl Harrison won't view it like this, but maybe some people would say it's a moral victory for Salford in defeat, because they have played really well. Those scores, by the way, from elsewhere, full time. Wigan have lost at home to Hull, and Leeds have put the cleaners past Wakefield. This is Hartley. They're keeping the ball alive as we're in the last minute. Hodgson with a little chip over the top. Gets the ball into the arms of Gilmore, and Saints will come with Gardner. 30 seconds remaining. They had to chance their arm.
Well, you couldn't blame them. And it was great football from Salford. They've given value for money tonight.
In Wellens.
But it's the old saying, isn't it, Eddie? You know, you don't play just for 65 minutes. You play for the full 80.
Long. Here they come again in the shape of Wilkin. 10 seconds remaining. The Saints fans counting down to victory. I think Wilkin will have this and leave it. No, they're going to have one more play of the ball. And down the line it goes. It finds touch. That will be it. St Helens win. But credit Salford and Carl Harrison for the performance. They led at half-time. 6 times previously they had led at half-time and went on to win. 6 times previously they weren't facing St Helens. Sean Long, much better second half from him. He reached the 2,000-point milestone. And Daniel Anderson continues with 3 games played and 3 victories for this St Helens team. That's Leeds, Bradford and Salford vanquished in 3 weeks. But give Salford immense credit for the part they played in a stirring contest. But the Saints have done what they do so well. They have come back from behind to win, and they maintain the pressure at the top of the table on the Leeds Rhinos.
Helens have won it though by 33 points to 22. Now then, we're going to hear from both coaches, Carl Harrison and Daniel Anderson, in a moment. But first of all, the man of the match, Jamie Lyon with Bill.
Jamie, I reckon you'll be opening a watch shop in Wee War fairly soon, the way this is going.
I don't know about that, mate. Yeah, it's good to come away from Salford with a win like that. I reckon that's probably our toughest game we've had all year, and grinded out like that. And full credit to Salford, they played really well.
And they really did make you work for this, didn't they? It must have been a bit worrying.
Oh, for sure, mate, especially at half-time. all the boys kept their heads up, and we were pretty happy at half time, and lucky we come away with the win.
Well done on another man of the match performance.
Thanks a lot.
Carl, you said before the game you wanted at least to be able to take some pride from this. Crikey, you've done that, haven't you?
I thought it was a little bit unlucky. I thought we played some real entertaining stuff, a little bit enterprising, different warm-up, short kick-offs, just a little disruptive. I thought we spoke St Helens and played some good stuff.
Was it ultimately just being in that position and not being able to put them away?
Hey, looking back on it, you know, they scored 4 tries off the back of 4 penalty sequences, 2 lucky kicks, 2 tries. You know, we've played real well against a champion team.
Thanks, Carl.
Thank you.
Daniel, you said before the game you weren't going to underestimate this lot, and I think you were proved right.
It was a tremendous performance, but a very brave Salford, and they keep playing like that, they're going to win some games. We had a real battle tonight.
Were you worried?
Yes and no. As I said, we played an opposition who were very motivated, very courageous, and just did make many mistakes. We didn't get any cheap points at all. They made us battle the whole way.
Well, that's 3 in a row for you. I know you don't like to personalise this, it's about the team, but you must be very pleased with the situation, put it that way.
Oh, I'm happy with the way we're playing, and it was we really had to guts it out, and it's a different style of win again from our other 2 wins, but you got to learn all different ways.
Thank you.
Thanks very much, Bill.
Happy with his lot, Daniel Anderson.